Good morning and welcome in online learning. Today we are going to learn the poem The Road Not Taken from CBSE class 9th. The poem Road Not Taken is written by British poet Robert Frost. First of all, we'll see the poet Robert Frost. Robert Lee Frost was an American poet. His work was initially published in England before it was published in America. He was one of the most popular and respected American poets of the 20th century. He was born on 1874 in San Francisco, USA, America, and died in 1963 Boston, USA, America. First of all, we'll go for the loud reading. In the loud reading, we'll focus on pronunciation and intonation of the poem. Let's see the poem, The Road Not Taken. This is well-known poem about making choices and the choices that shape everyone's creature or the future. Robert Frost is an American poet who writes simply but insightfully about common and ordinary experiences. In this poem, there are four stanzas, and the four stanzas are about the making choices in everyone's life. Let's listen the poem very much carefully. Two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and I looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim. Perhaps it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had owned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way. I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Robert Frost. This is a poem which we have read. I hope you have understood this poem in the initial stage. Okay, let's try to explain this poem in detail. While going through the poem, we'll come across some difficult words. Through the glossary, we will see the difficult words. The first difficult word is diverge, that is, separated and took a different direction. Undergrowth, dense growth of plants and bushes. Third word, wanted where had not been used before. Hence, here in the future. First of all, we'll see the first stanza of the poem, The Road Not Taken. The two roads diverge in yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and I looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Students, the poet Robert Frost happened to go on morning walk, and he went for morning walk in the wood. Wood means forest, and the forest has turned yellow because it might be a summer season, and that's why the wood forest appeared as yellow. And while entering in the forest, he found happy to be with the nature, but when he reached at the junction of two roads, then he decided, he confused to which road he should walk on further. He observed the both roads very carefully because the both roads he found equally fresh because it was morning. The leaves from the trees had fallen down on the road, and it was really confusing for him to which road he should take because these two diverged road, and being a single traveler, he he didn't know to which road he should travel by, and he has to travel. Being a single traveler without anybody's help, he has to choose which road he should take, and that's why he observed the both roads very carefully by bending forward. As far as his sight could see, he was trying to see the road. In this picture, you will come across the man standing at the junction of two roads in the forest, and he's trying to observe the two roads, and he seems to be in a thought process. He in a confusion that to which direction he should go because he is thinking which road will lead him to the success. And really, this is the main theme of the poem, to which direction one should go, one should choose, because making choices is really important in everyone's life. Okay, let's see the confusion in the little course of the poem. This poem was first published in 1916, and this poem has great fame in later stage. The woods are yellow, which means that it's probably the fall, that is the autumn season, and that's why the leaves are turning its color from green to yellow. The road, there are two roads diverge, separated, which means at the junction where there are these two roads are separated. The speaker, being the poet of the poem, want to go down the both roads at once. But since it's impossible to walk down the two roads at once, he has to choose one road. See, here the poet is also feel little greedy that he should walk the both roads, but in a single life it's not possible to avail the all the opportunities or all the ways to be availed. And on this occasion, in this crisis, one has to choose only one. This is a great dilemma the poet is running in. The speaker is sorry, the speaker is really sad. He can't travel both roads and suggesting regret, expressing his regrets, his helplessness, and the compulsion has come to choose the one road. Because of the impossibility of traveling the both roads, the speaker stands there trying to choose which path he is going to take, because he is standing for a long time and we know that he is on foot. He is walking alone and not in a carriage or car. See here, when you don't have any help around, and that time you have to make the choice, then we have to really think in a deep manner. The speaker really want to go down both paths. He is thinking hard about his choices. He is thinking over his choices. He is analyzing all the options, all the possibilities, plus and minus. So he has to travel only one, that is single path, and that is only once in a life. He is staring down one road and he don't want to take any risk. He want to make the choice very thoughtful, trying to see where it goes. And when he starts, even he has to think where it ends. But he can only see up to the first bend. But standing at the starting point, he could a little distance of the road where it's not possible for him to look at the end of the road or the path. Destination is low, so far long that he cannot send his eyesight and be satisfied, and he should be secure and safe about the risk he is undertaking. Where the undergrowth, the small plants and greenery of the woods, but the road is not straight, it is bent, undergrowth, and there he only see a little distance of the road, and where on the along the both sides of the road there is the thickest greenery of the wood, and that is blocking his view. So this was the first stanza, and I hope we have good explanation about it. Now moving towards the second stanza, the road not taken. Let's begin with the second stanza. Then took the other just as fair and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted where, though as for that the passing there had owned them really about the same. After observing the first road, the poet is also watching another road. And another road seems to be a more claiming for him, because the poet seems to be little courageous, bold, and adventurous. He want to try some little adventure so that he may enjoy the success, he may enjoy the very much fruitful efforts. While turning towards the other road, he thought that it is a fair, because many didn't have tried this road, and that's why he may surely will be one of the successful man to reach over there. Because why he thought that the road is such a way that no one has traveled more on this road, because when we walk on the road, when we step down, the grass erodes, the grass becomes black and disappear, and that's why we can see the footmarks on the road. That's why we can say that the road is used by many. But in case of this road, the road is fully grassy. On the road itself there is a grass, and wanted where and wanted to erode. So it means that no many people have stepped down the grass and eroded it. Though as for that the passing there, and the poet is very excited to pass from there, had owned them really about the same, and poet is loving to step down this grassy road. See, in this picture there are two paths. The left one appeared to be more walked by the people because it does not have the leaves fallen on the road. But in case of the another road, the right path road having the leaves fallen on the road. This is the simple uh, rule that when we step on the road, the leaves will erode, and we can say that the many leaves fallen on the road appear that the no one has walked before. But while walking on the road, you can see that the people already have walked many. So after all this build up about one road which he has looked down for a long time, our speakers takes the other path. But the poet, being adventurous, being bold and courageous, the poet loved to take very much adventurous path which was not walked by many people, and the second road which appeared to be the adventurous and dangerous road he takes. We are gazing that he means the road is just as a pretty, but that in the metaphorical world of this poem, he thinks he has made the fair or right choice. See here, as per the view and the theme of the poem, the choosing the path with claiming the adventure leads to success, because when already so many people have walked before, already it has been the saturation in that field. The ratio of competition will be more, and the success also in proportionate to the risk, the success will be the less. That's why people should make a fair right choice to have the success in life. But it's not a fairer, it's just as fair. So he was choosing the between the two roads or futures. Here simply two roads are not roads, they are the futures. They are the futures of the man or everyone that were difficult but potentially equally good. Though the poet is deciding to choose another road, second road, still he is observing and comparing the both roads together. Then the poet tells us why the path is better. Then after comparing the both roads, the poet is explaining us why the second road is good for us. It seems like it has been walked on very much because it's grassy and does not look on eroded. The poet is sure, poet is good at observation and keen, that he tells that the second road is grassy and did not look on eroded, and that symptom shows that the many people have didn't walked on the road. The speaker of this poem really can't seem to make up his mind just when we think we have got a declaration about which path is better, and he changes his mind and admit that maybe they were equal after all. But sometimes his decision also leads to confusion that the both roads might be equal because they might be reaching at the same destinations, and that's why there is a little bit confusion in the mind of the poet. So moving towards the third stanza, and both that morning equally lay, and the poet is on morning walk, and the morning walks leads to yellow forest, and the both roads at that morning time appeared the same because the leaves from the trees in the autumn season had fallen on the both roads. In leaves no step had trodden black, and already no one had walked before because the poet was the first traveler in the yellow wood, and that's why he find the leaves on the road. Oh, I kept the first for another day, and the poet being confirmed in his decision that the first road which was walked by many he has kept for his another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. But the poet thinks that the returning for the another day won't be the possible because he thought that the life is very short, and in a short life it's not possible to return. Here again we hear that the paths are equal, but we find out something new, that it's morning time. It's possible that the poet is first traveler to this place on that day. But we thought one path was grassy and now it's covered with the leaves. Possibly the leaves aren't very thick, or the grass stick up in between them, or maybe the speaker isn't being quite honest. So here the poet is making the choice of another path. The speaker seems like he is already regretting his decision. He is rationalizing his choice of path by saying he will come back to the one he missed later. And sometimes the poet is unsure about the second path choosing because he might be thinking of returning to the first path because it may be a failure, and due to the lack of confidence the poet is also availing the first path. This is a similar way to deal with the difficult choices. You can always come back and try it again later with him, with an O at the beginning and exclamation point at the end. This line is emphatic. The speaker feels strongly about what he is saying here. Now moving towards the fourth number stanza, the road not taken. I shall be feeling with a sigh, somewhere edges and edges. Hence, the two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. And the poet at the junction of two roads, after all analysis and the discussion, he is he is deciding to walk on the second path. The poet is in lamentation tone reacts that he will be telling it with a sigh, though which interesting because sigh can be happy and sad and merely reflective, and we don't know what kind of sigh this is. So we know that this choice is probably going to be important for the speaker's future, but we don't know if he is going to be happy about it or not. In this line, the speaker sum up his story and tell us that he took the road less traveled by with the hesitation in the line before. His declaration could be triumphant and grateful. Also remember, it was exactly clear that the road was speaker our speaker took was the first that was less traveled. He said at first that it looked less worn, but then that the road were actually about equal. Now we'll turn towards the evaluation, thinking about the poem with questions. Where did the traveler find himself? What problem does he face? The traveler finds himself at a junction of road while traveling in a yellow wood. He faced the problem of choosing between the two roads as he could not travel both at the same time. Discussion what these phrases mean to us. A yellow wood, as I explained before, the wood means forest, and the color of the forest is yellow, as yellow because it is an autumn season. It was grassy and wanted wear. It means the road was grassy and wanted wear. The road was having the grass on it and it wanted to erode. The passing there, the poet want to pass from there, poet want to walk away from it. Leaves no step had trodden black, and leaves no step had trodden black means no traveler had stepped on the leaves to turn them black. How way leads on to way, and how the poet is walking on the both roads. So this was the explanation. What do you think the last two lines of the poem mean? Looking back, does the poet regret his choice or accept it? In the last two lines, the poet says that he chose the less trodden road, and that was the choice made all the difference in his life. Whether he regrets his choice or accept it, it is ambiguous, confusing one. The poet uses word difference which does not clarify the implication, reveal whether good or bad. However, the word suggests that the declaration or the decision was possibly more of regret than satisfaction. So students, I hope you understood this poem, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. I hope you will prepare well. Thank you.